Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I just wanted to come and run my mouth about the girls in Thailand. All right, so this is going to be the review for Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. So far, so good. I'm really, really enjoying the show. Let's just go ahead and get into the recap. So we have peach juice. For those who don't know who peach juice is, that's Porsha, the one that's from Atlanta. And we have Candace from Potomac. We have Gizelle um, from Potomac. We have Marisol and Alexia from Miami. We have Leah from New York. Um, and we have Heather and Whitney from Salt Lake City. I'm pretty much familiar with all the girls. The only one I probably know the least about, is probably Leah, because I really never watched New York like that. I watched the first two seasons of Salt Lake City. I've watched seasons 4 and 5 of Miami. Of course, I've watched all the seasons of Potomac except for season 2, and then of course Atlanta, which you know what I'm so surprised by? I'm so surprised when there are people out there who say they've never watched Atlanta before. Girl, what? Okay, girl. Um, but I knew Leah was the one who y'all say ruined New York, which I'm just like, girl, y'all putting a lot on that girl. So like her and Ebony, y'all say ruined Real Housewives of New York, which is kind of like, can I say something? Girl, with New York, I really feel like, girl, they've probably been wanting to pull the plug on New York for a minute, because no one is going to get rid of something that's just successful, and that they, you know what I'm saying? Like, who just pulls a cord on like a show like New York if it's really doing what the people behind the scenes wanted to do? Like, I just feel like they were probably, I don't know, but I just don't think it was Leah or Ebony who just ruined. Girl, they got that much power to ruin. Like, okay, John, they just ruined the show. You know how many Housewives seasons we've had that have been horrible, and they come back the next season and try to redeem themselves, right? Anyways, but yeah, Leah, she's from New York. Porsha basically opens the show, and I'm gonna be nice. You know, one thing I will get at Porsha, baby, Miss Thing is gonna be put together. You know, even though I can see a little bit of her lace in her confessional, that's okay. But for the most part, I will say every time Porsha popped on the screen, Miss Thing is going to be put together. I'm gonna give Peach Juice. I mean, I ain't got no trust but to give it to her, because if I didn't, I'd sound like a hater. But that Porsha, she be together. She be together. But she opens up the show. Um, she pretty much says she's there to just watch the mess unfold. I'm like, girl, but you are part of the mess. Like, y'all know Porsha. For the girls who don't remember Porsha, she jumped ship when she stole that lady's husband. We'll talk about that later. When she stole that lady's husband, and she didn't want to come back the next season because she knew she was gonna get a dragon, girl, and so she jumped ship. Anyways, Heather and Whitney, I did not watch season 3 of Salt Lake City. I heard they fell out. I really don't care, honestly. It just sounds like, from what they said on the show, this first episode, um, maybe the second episode, but it sounds like, I guess, Heather lied about not knowing some information about Lisa. Girl, I don't know, girl. Honestly, I don't even care. All I know is they really not as close as they used to be. Well, they made up supposedly on this trip, but girl, from what I saw in the third episode, not to get ahead of myself, girl, it kind of looked like it might have went back left. Um, but yeah, the house is absolutely gorgeous, girl. 26,000, no, over 26,000 square feet. 8 bedrooms, 8 baths, 3 floors, 360 views. I think yes. This is the type of stuff I want to see on my TV screen because I can't afford that, girl. I can't live there, girl. So I want to see somebody else live there, even if it's for just a week. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, the house is absolutely gorgeous. Um, Candace and Gizelle. That's why, I've said this before on my channel. I said that I think that we're going to look up like 20, 30 years from now when Housewives is probably no longer on TV. We're all going to be, in our 50s and 60s and 70s. And then I feel like these heifers going to come out with somebody going to come out with a tell-all book and they're going to say the gag was on us. Like they was in on the joke the whole time. Because you really have to kind of like when you watch these housewife shows because it does. Let me turn this TV. I keep looking at my TV screen. You know that a lot of this stuff is reality stretched as far as they can stretch it, right? What they put sauce on it, as Ashley likes to say. So you kind of have to figure out what's real, what's fake, what they might be doing, turning up a little bit for TV. Um, Giselle, Giselle and Candace. I think this trip was shot right. The only thing I can, because I was over here really thinking about this since last night. The only thing I can really think about, this is what I've come up with. Because as of now, I don't think Candace and Giselle really see it for each other. Because I was like, girl, y'all being real nice. Like, but I think what it is, because even Giselle said Candace is from my show, Love Candace. So I'm thinking what happened was after they filmed season 7, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, they went not necessarily straight into, but probably straight into a month later or 2 months later, I don't know, into filming this show. Or maybe it was no, it probably wasn't in the middle of them filming the show. So I'm thinking after their season ended, they went to Thailand, right, and filmed this girls trip. So I don't think that at this point, the show hadn't aired. They hadn't did the reunion. They probably were, they probably hadn't really heard what the viewers had to say. So I don't think it was still a big deal to Candace clearly, but I don't think that it was magnified, right? Until it hit our TV screens. And then until the viewers start to get involved. And then, girl. So that's the only thing I can come up with as to why they were even being kind of, I hate to say it, but friendly towards each other. Because it's like, girl, ain't no way. Ain't no way. But again, like I said, what I just said, it hadn't aired, I don't think. And so they probably had just finished filming and it wasn't like this big thing, right? Because I'm like, girl, looking at Candace and Giselle, like, girl, I thought, girl, y'all be like, girl, y'all in on the scheme too, quiet as this kept. Whitney says that her least favorite housewife was Candace, based off of the show. They go to a spirit house. Oh, Pepsi. Pepsi is a concierge. Um, Pepsi cool. Pepsi cool. Pepsi cool. He seems like he likes to have a good time. Really nice. They love Pepsi. I mean, he ain't like, what was his name? Michael from season 2? No, that was season 1. Remember when Michael, girl, when they went to, was it Turks and Caicos? Well, I forgot where they went. The Bahamas, Jamaica? I can't even remember where they went. And girl, he was flirting with, what's that white woman name? The white lady from New York. Luann. The Countess, right? Girl, that was doing like like body shots or something, and he had a whole wife at the house. I said, well, girl, you know, Luann don't care, because from what the people say, girl, they up there sharing me, and girl, they say they shared me in pieces and dicks in New York. So, you know, Luann don't care, girl. I know that Luann said, girl, that ain't my husband. They got nothing to do with me. Um, but anyways, they go to a spirit house, and um, I guess they're supposed to just say the things that they, I guess the things that they want to happen, I guess, during the trip. Um, Whitney says protection from the drama, and then she look at Gizelle. Um, they discussed Jen Shaw for a minute before they went to the spirit house. I think that was the first thing that Leah mentioned to Heather. 'Cause, you know, Heather is like was like Team Jen. Um, and again, I don't watch season 3, so I really don't know how it played out. Well, I know I'm as far as like the ins and outs of like Jen's and Heather's relationship. I know Jen is in jail. Okay, I do know that much. I did think it was weird when they met, and the first thing that kind of was, as far as how they showed it on TV. One of the first things that popped out of Heather's mouth was basically about Leah's sobriety. Now, listen, I thought I knew that Leah, because I've watched episodes and pieces here and there of New York. You know what I'm saying? I've never been a New York girl. I ain't never sit down and watch full seasons. An episode here or there, clips here and there, right? I might be laying on my couch, girl, what's going on TV? Oh, let me watch New York and see what they doing. I thought that, see, this is the only thing I will say. Heather, girl, I think, girl, Heather, I was like, girl, you don't ask like a recovering alcoholic. Like, I don't think that's something you joke with. Like when she said, girl, we're gonna try to get Leah drunk. Girl, what? Now maybe if it was just your home girl who was having a bad day and you was like, we're gonna try to get her drunk, girl, I guess. But girl, like I didn't know Leah was full blown recovering like drug addict, even an alcoholic. I thought I saw, and the reason why I say this is because I thought I remember watching a couple of shows and her drinking again. Like she had it under control. You see what I'm saying? Maybe I made that up. But I swear I remember watching New York one time, and I remember Leah discussing, you know, her situation. I didn't know about the whole drug addict stuff until this episode. But I remember her, I think I remember her mentioning like her alcoholism. Um, but I thought she had started drinking again because she felt like she had it under control. Anyways, nonetheless, girl, it was still tacky because Heather, girl, for you to have read her book, like it's one thing for Gizelle really not to know, or some of the other girls who really don't like girl, is she like, girl, I don't know what's going on with her. And then maybe possibly offer her a drink because they don't know her business, right? But girl, you knew because you said you read her book. So if you read her book and she's saying that this stuff was in her book, then Heather, girl, you really mess up for that. And girl, this is somebody who used to go up for Heather, girl. They picked out the girls' rooms. The rooms, again, are absolutely gorgeous. I never understood how it's always that one room that really doesn't fit like the aesthetic of the other rooms. Like Leah has the worst room. Girl. And it's like, girl, everybody else has a gorgeous room, a nice room. Then it's almost like, girl, we need to add one. It's like the designer said, we need to add one more room. Girl, okay, just put it down there in that corner. The corner at the bottom, on the first floor. Yeah, in the base. Yeah. But just put it down there in that corner. Because we need to get 8 bedrooms. Right? That's what it sounds like. Girl, Marisol. When that producer asked Marisol, what other liquids do you drink? Oh my God, because girl, Marisol don't eat. And girl, every time we see her, the only thing she's drinking is, girl, if it's 40%. It's 40% or 35%. I ain't never seen Marisol drink a bottle of water. I ain't never seen her drink a cup of juice. I ain't never even seen her drink no zero sugar soda, girl. A Diet Coke or nothing. It's always alcohol. I'm about to say something. I don't know if this is true or not, but I think Marisol has an eating disorder. It ain't no way. Girl, I've seen Marisol on my TV screen too many times. And I ain't never seen that hoe eat nothing. Girl, like nothing. Girl, like the first time I saw her, literally, from what I can remember, put something in her mouth, and I'm getting ahead of myself, was episode 3 when she had that little shrimp. Did y'all see that? I'm sorry. Did y'all see Marisol with that piece of, girl, Marisol had one shrimp on her plate. And then I think she took some of Alexia's, I think Alexia had some pasta or something. I think she took a bite of Alexia's pasta. But Marisol had a big old plate. She had a big old plate. She had one shrimp on it. And you want to complain this whole time about your stomach hurting. Help her because you don't eat. Every time I see Marisol, she's talking about drinking. Anyways, Porsha and Gizelle are in there. This is the thing I don't like about Porsha, besides the fact that she's a sociopath. And I'll say this much: if I could see how people go up for Porsha, I'm not gonna lie. I could see it. I'm not even gonna sit here and just play Porsha or play y'all like that. I can see why people go up for Porsha, because even though Porsha has done a lot of up stuff on Atlanta on her little spinoff show, she does come across as like a good time. Like I can see people getting with Porsha and just having a good, fun time. Girl, ain't stressed out no more. You know, like to drink, party, have a good time. Now, girl, she gonna make you eat her pussy out. She already said that. One of y'all bitches eating my pussy tonight. Remember she said that? Now you might have to go home and have Porsha cat on the top of your lip. But girl, nonetheless, girl, she a good time. But I can see why people like Porsha. But Porsha, girl, this is the thing about Porsha that irritates me. Porsha, you're on this trip acting like you're not gonna be a part of the mess when you know you left Atlanta right when your mess was about to really hit the fan, right? Now, girl, you acting like you don't know why people are online saying that you and Candace was gonna get into it. You know exactly why that. Like like it's that playing dumb for me, right? And I think she does it on purpose too, because I think they said it in one of the episodes, like when all else fails, play dumb, right? And they played a flashback of her basically playing dumb, even though I don't think sometimes it's a play, and I think it's in real life. But girl, you know why you and Candace, you know why people are online saying that you and Candace were not going to get along, because you inserted yourself in some mess that quite frankly really didn't have nothing to do with you. AKA season 5. We're not going backwards. Candace tells Leah and Whitney that Gizelle will do whatever and say whatever for a rating. I mean, I think we pretty much know that now. They talk about Porsha building her brand. She says the first year she had no IG. The second year, she says she got her divorce. This is, I guess she's talking about when she was on Atlanta. And she had more followers and money in her account. And I'm glad Porsha said that, because I think sometimes, well, I stopped thinking like that a long time ago, but you do see those folks with, like in our real world. Like you see, it's people on Instagram, girl, that got 100,000 followers, 200,000 followers, girl. Girl, and it make them feel some type of way, but girl, this is no tea, no shade, but girl, you still broke. Like, girl, girl, it's one thing if you making money off of those followers, but girl, you ain't even got no money. You got all these people following you. So I'm glad Porsha was like, girl, when I got my divorce, I had more followers and money in my account, right? Then she said by the third year, she was doing like club bookings, and then she was like, okay, I'm gonna have to start like getting on my business grind. Um, I also like the fact that Porsha said, and I understood what Porsha was saying, that she would never really betray the housewives. Like, even though she really don't fool with a lot of the girls on the show, probably, I'm never gonna be the one to be like, I hope they fail without me, right? Or kind of like like Bethany from New York. It does blow my mind, and like I said, I never kept up with New York like that. But from what I understand, Bethany was almost 1 foot into a women's shelter. Quiet as this guy. And Bethany built like a multi-million-dollar, you know, empire. But she'll still go around and kind of like badmouth the housewives to this day. It's kind of like me. I don't think any job is perfect, and I think that every job has room for improvement. But it's like I don't know. It's just like a YouTuber who got their start off on YouTube, just down in YouTube, and it's like, girl, quiet as it's kept. If it wasn't for YouTube, girl, you probably, you know what I'm saying. So it's like you don't want to bite the hand that feeds you. You don't want to like just outright disrespect the very show that has allowed you to be this person, affords you this lifestyle, right? So I'm glad Porsha said that too. I don't care about no Whitney and Heather. Uh, so they go out to dinner and they do Gizelle wants to play a game, first impressions. Can I say something, y'all? And I know, and I don't want y'all to think I'm picking. I get that somebody has to get the mess rolling. Somebody always has to be the messy starter. Somebody got to be the messy starter. I just think it's almost late tiding through because it's like the same. It's like this. It's like Gizelle. It's not even. It's not even organic, like Nene say. Shout out to Nene. It ain't even organic. It's like we sit down. Gizelle gonna start asking a whole bunch of questions. And I'm glad Alexia clocked her. Like, girl, you ask a whole bunch of questions because you don't really want to talk about yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the truth. But I think it's like, girl, like, why y'all just can't sit down? Because I feel like when you have just a group of people and then at this point, we're going to have to call a thing a thing. These girls know what this is about. You know what I'm saying? They know. They know. They know that they are there to put on a show and to entertain the people. So all I'm saying is, girl, I understand y'all probably only there for like 7 or 8 days. But girl, the drama is going to come. And I just wish it was more organic instead of like me just knowing, okay, here goes Gizelle. Like, okay, so it's almost like okay, let's get the party started. Okay, so what's going on between you two? What about you? And you said this earlier, and you said this, and you also responded, and it's like, girl, like, girl. I don't like that. I honestly don't. I don't. I don't. I think it's tide laden through. And I think Gizelle takes that playbook. I'm like, girl, you took that same playbook that you used in Potomac, girl, across the waters. Girl, like, girl. So she wants to play a game, first impressions. We know this game could go left because it's meant to be messy. Who was it? Who was the best? What was your who gave you who was the worst? Wait, who did you think was going to give you the worst impression, who gave you the best impression? Oh, I just told the whole lie. I'm thinking about Pepsi. You're a Pepsi. I just told the whole lie. Got my notes all over. Okay, that's not what happened. Scrap what I just said. Pepsi was giving his first impressions of the ladies. He said Whitney was beautiful, Gizelle is funny, Porsha, wow, wow, wow. Girl, Heather is a princess, everything must be perfect. I couldn't hear what he said about Alexia. Leah, he says it's calm, but she has a secret. Marisol, I think he said is a princess also, and then he said Candace is a superstar. I said, come on, superstar, superstar. Oh yeah, and then Gizelle also played a game worst and best impressions. Um, Whitney had already told the girls that when you confront Heather, she turns into a rich white woman and starts to act like she don't know what you're talking about. Now Heather is like I said, Heather was one of my. I actually started following Heather at one point. Then I unfollowed. I was like, I don't want to follow no Heather gay. But I actually followed Heather at one point because I thought Heather was like hilarious on um, Salt Lake City. But Heather is too smart. I don't know if Heather does it on purpose to try to like weasel her way out of confrontation, right? Because again, I feel like Heather is too smart for her to pull the. Did I say that, girl? You know you said that. Like, did I said that? Yes, you know you said it, girl. You know you said it. But Whitney had already told the group, well, the girls that were in the car to the restaurant, that Whitney was gonna pull the she don't remember card, and girl, that's exactly what she pulled. That Heather was gonna pull that card, and that's exactly what she pulled. Um, Again, Heather was messed up for saying that, girl, even though she knew that Leah was a recovering addict, that girl, we still gonna like we're gonna try to get her drunk, huh? Girl, what? Heather. I think Heather is nervous. I think Heather, you know, that person who feels like they have nothing else to offer, and they know and they bank on their personality because they probably know out of everything I have going on, like my personality is like A1. I think that's Heather Gay. I think Heather Gay feels as though I have nothing else to offer but my personality, but my sense of humor. But sometimes she puts her foot in her mouth, right? And then it's kind of like, oh girl, I can't believe I just said that. Because she's so like, I have to make the people like me. I have to make the people like me. I have to make the people like me. I have to make the people laugh. I'm like around the stars. And it's like, girl, from what Nene said, girl, ain't from what Nene said about Gizelle and Robin, are they stars? Hey! Um, Gizelle. Gizelle getting upset because Marisol and um, uh, Alexia, go from English to Spanish. Make sure I don't get canceled, honey. I understood what Giselle was trying to say. But I also understand that, girl, Giselle, these are not your kids either. So even if your kids are proficient in Spanish and they talk about you in Spanish at the house, girl, I think the thing is, Giselle, the girls in Potomac have given Giselle too much power, where Giselle thinks that she can literally go across to another girl part of the world and tell another group of grown women what they can and cannot do. You see what I'm saying? Because if I was Alexia and Marisol, I would have said, girl, I'm grown. Girl, ain't nobody talking about you. We always go back and forth like this, right? But I also understand how, girl, if we're in a group setting and then one minute you're talking English and then you up and start talking Spanish, how it could look like, oh, girl, what? It's kind of like at work. We're not going to sit here and act like we ain't ever been at work and they've told you that, girl, it's rude not to, right, speak in another language, especially like if you're like in a meeting, a team building exercise, right? You're speaking in English and you start speaking in Spanish or whatever language, right? Girl, we've heard these things before. So it is as ignorant as it may sound, as insensitive as it may sound, we're not going to act like that's not like a real life rule, especially at work. I'm just saying. But I also, on the flip side, I don't think I really. I think like I would have been like the other ladies. Like, girl, I don't think the only person who made a big deal out of it was Gizelle, but I think that's because Gizelle is so used to being in control of the girls that she thinks that she's gonna be able to be in control of Marisol and Alexia. Because Giselle's whole thing is, of course, the producer, the title y'all done gave her, or Carlos King, whoever called her child. So if I can't produce the scene, I can't produce the show if I don't know what you're saying. So don't talk like that around me because I need to know what's going on because I got to make sure that I produce the scene. You see what I'm saying? I think that's what Gizelle is coming from. I don't think Gizelle really cares about them speaking in Spanish. I think that Gizelle cares about them speaking in Spanish because Gizelle wants to produce the scene. And she can't produce the scene if I don't know what you're saying. I'm just saying, y'all. Girl, my stomach growling. I'm hungry. Um, um, and then Whitney, she tells Candace that wasn't gonna like her. She thought she wasn't gonna like her because of the comments she said to Ashley. You know, when Candace told her you brought your you brought your wide bodied ass. And then what's her name? Porsha starts to speak up for Candace and says that when Candace grew, she pictured herself, and Candace was trying to tell her basically that's not what happened. Porsha was on some, Porsha feel like she's grown. Porsha's still the same person. No, Porsha is being her authentic self. Now she's not the same person she was with Cardell. Well, Porsha ain't grown. Porsha's still the same person. That's why low key my mouth hit the floor when she tried to tell. We'll talk about that in the next episode. I was like, girl, you ain't even grown. Girl, you still the same person. Girl, you still the same person throwing plates across the room. Girl, stealing people's husbands. That's growth. Okay. Anyway, she tries to, I guess, explain to the table that what Candace said in the moment. She probably didn't realize how it was going to come out. But when you grow, and Candace was like, that's not what it was. That's not what it was. That's not what it was. And so Portia was like, well, I guess you just mean as hell then. Because Candace was basically like, I said it mean because she was being mean. That was pretty much the end, y'all. All right, y'all. We'll be back with episode 2 probably tomorrow. I might do it today if I feel like it. I might do it today. I don't know. All right, y'all. I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.